Hey, I hope you guys can hear me. I'm doing this video very quickly. I had to put this down because uh, it's just amazing, that so much of this flat Earth cosmology that is it's very interesting. Whether it's true or not, it's very interesting. Um, uh, After looking into it, all I can say is it really is more evidence to point to it than it is that the Earth's a globe. You wouldn't think that if you don't look into it, but it really is the case. And these guys are not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And they're really not. And, you know, shoot, I would come out and say I'm the biggest believer, except I'm just saving it. I'm just trying not to say it. That's all. But look, if there was no ridicule involved, I pretty much am there. I'm pretty much am there. It just all adds up. But because I know that I'm never 100% correct all the time, I leave some space for, uh, you know, me being wrong and so forth. But here's my story. Okay, here's the story. All right, I have a friend. I do comics, and yes, I'm doing the Flat Earth comic. It's still going to come out, and thank you for all my backers. It's taking forever. But listen, uh, I was talking to my friend, and he flies satellites for, I guess, the government. He says he's a flyer. He's an aerospace engineer. So I said, okay, so what do you do? I fly satellites. You fly satellites? So I guess he's flying them like remote control. All right. So I started asking him, aren't they in the thermosphere and stuff like that? He said, oh, no, no. He's been doing it for 20 years. Okay. He did it in the military, and now he's doing it out as a civilian. So he starts telling me about, yeah, how they fly, how they change directions, and he's got me doubting, the whole flat Earth theory. And so then I ask him this one question. I said, so when you're flying, I bring up the horizon, I bring up all this stuff, He's, oh, no, man, it's just because of the size of the Earth and, the angle that you're looking at. Of course, you're not going to see it. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm just a little bit too enthusiastic about this whole flat Earth thing. And, I have to bring myself back down to Earth. Okay. That's what I'm thinking. But I asked him this one question as I'm starting to feel defeated and sort of like, okay, second guessing myself. I say, so when you're flying the satellites, like, what do you see? Can you see the Earth? And he says, no, basically, I just see a lot of numbers. I said, what? I said, what? Basically, I'm looking at a screen with numbers, which shows me my trajectory and my altitude. And I'm just like, wait a second. Wait a second. This is what every flat earther says is going on, like at NASA and everywhere else. And here is this guy who's worked in the industry for over 20 years. And he has never questioned why there's not a camera on his satellite or satellites or any other satellites he's worked with. For 20 years. This is like driving an Uber for 20 years, okay? It's like driving an Uber for 20 years, and you have a partition behind you, and you can't see who gets in the car. All you have is your app on your phone, and it tells you pick up John Doe at 24th and Smith, okay? You drive there, you drive to 24th and Smith, you park, you don't feel anybody get in. You don't hear the door open or close. The app says Mr. Smith is in your car. You take him to his destination. You he said he's paid. You stop. It says he's paid, and then it says he's not in your car anymore, and you're good. He's paid. All right, and you do it for 20 years, and you never stop to say, "I wonder if anybody's actually back there." And you never stop to say, "That's what this is like," and you don't question it. So I started going down. So now I'm starting to say, "Wait a second. Why don't they put a camera on these satellites?" And he said, "Well," I said, why can't they get a video of the Earth spinning, uh, you know, 24 hours, a full rotation of the Earth, a camera that shows that, 24 hours a day or something like that." And so he said, "Well, the data, the that's a lot of data. That's a camera recording something for 24 hours. So it's almost like your cell phone." The way he was saying it was almost like your cell phone taking a video for 24 hours. That's going to be a big file. And then how are you going to get that file down from the satellite to the Earth? I was like, "Oh, okay. All right, I guess maybe I'm not thinking about this correctly, right?" So that, yeah, it's a big packet to download and send. But how did the guys who landed on the moon send video directly back live? Okay, they did it live. It's just not a data package. This is a radio stream. All right. So why is there not a radio stream on the satellite from a camera sending that imagery back down to Earth where they can record it? There's no eyes on, hand on the asset 25,000 miles above the Earth. I said, "So why do you think we haven't gone back to the moon?" "Oh, there's nothing up there." And I started thinking about it. I was like, I said, "Dude," I said, "there's nothing up there." And the military, one of the greatest advantages you can have is line of sight, right? So like Vietnam and stuff like that, we're looking for the ultimate high ground. The ultimate high ground, you can get up there, you can see everything. You can communicate clearly, right? Your radio waves, there's nothing impeding it. There's no jungle debris, You put another relay station on another mountain, 40, 50 miles away. You guys can send signals and, all the way up to the chain of command, basically, right? So the ultimate high ground is the freaking moon, right? I mean, isn't that the ultimate high ground? And why would we waste 50 years building a space station that's only 250 miles up, where he said these satellites were 25,000 miles up? Okay, not 250 miles, but 25,000 miles up without cameras on. And somehow he's getting the telemetry data so quick that he can make adjustments if it needs to be moved, but yet he can't get any other data down. This is stuff I need to write. I need to ask him about that. All right. So I said, "So why would we build a freaking space station instead of building one on the moon where it's more stable, right? It's in a stable ground. You could do better experiments. In fact, you would have the ultimate high ground advantage because." I asked him, "Does any other country?" Let me put a pin in that. I'll come back. "Has any other country gone to the moon?" He said, "Yeah, Russia." This is a guy who's been in it for 20 years. I said, "You for sure?" I knew the answer was no. He said, "Yeah. He went to look it up. No." I said, "Isn't it strange no other country has gone to the moon? And yet we have all the technology to go, right? I mean, we did it 50 years ago." Yeah. I said, "But they said they lost all the telemetry data." And all that. He said, "Yeah, they did." Okay, but I said, but the people that made those things are still alive. So then you have like Virgin Galactic, and you have what's that? SpaceX, right? Virgin Galactic said they're going to send people to the moon, or basically in space, 20 some years ago, and they're working with NASA. So I'm like, if NASA's done it, and they want to extend this out to the civilian world, and they've been working with this guy for 20 years, and he still hasn't done it, what's the holdup? NASA's done it before, so they have their budget, and they have this guy's budget, and they still aren't able to do it? And now SpaceX is coming and trying to do it, and they're still having problems? What's going on here? And we haven't been back, and it's the ultimate high ground. Now I'm going to go back to that. And it's the ultimate high ground. So what if China decides to go to the moon and build a freaking missile base there? Because we're not on the moon, even if we're in a benign state, that we are not a military footing, right? Or an active military footing. If another country goes up there, we have no means to stop them. And you really think the United States would leave that big of a gap in its defenses when they have the capability? So you got to understand, they have the capability of going to the moon. It's the ultimate high ground, the ultimate military strategic point. It's death from above, but we don't have a contingency plan in place or presence on the moon to stop anyone else from encroaching upon that. It doesn't make any sense. So then he said, oh, well, it's the cost. It's the cost. I said, wait, NASA gets like $1 billion a day. Literally. Look it up. I might be off, but it's an exorbitant amount per day for the last 50 years. All right? So I said, well, okay, if it's cost, with any other technology, let's say a cell phone. A cell phone comes out, it's like freaking, 40 grand. But you give it 5 years, you can get a cell phone for $40, right? That's why the branding of all these big old iPhones and stuff like this is outrageous. The product doesn't cost that much to make anymore. But with any other technology, the cost over a period of time, in fact, almost immediately shrinks, because you learn how to mass produce it. You learn how to make better materials. We make advancements, right? So over 50 years, whatever the cost it was to get to the moon back then, it should be 1/3 or 1/4 the amount now. So it should be cheaper. It's a military necessity. You've got a space shuttle that's already going into space, supposedly, to the space station. How hard would it be to whip around to the moon? Right? And he was like, well, I guess it doesn't. He was answering it, but it was no answers for it. And it just blew my mind that literally we are so asleep that we don't think of these questions, and so asleep even more that we have so much cognitive dissonance that even when these questions are presented to you, logically, you would say something's not right there. But no, we find some crazy excuse to say, oh yeah, well, we haven't gone back because yeah, you're right, it wouldn't cost that much, and yeah, we probably spent more on the space shuttle, and yeah, you're right, it's a military necessity, and yeah, you're right, it has been taking these private contractors forever to get up there, and they're working with NASA. The person who does it, yeah, that doesn't make sense, and yeah, I've been flying these satellites, and yeah, I've never seen where the heck I'm flying, and yeah, it doesn't make any sense, dude. It doesn't. And when you tell it to people, they look at you like you're crazy. The equivalent of that would be, yeah, I always say that. You walk into the house, your wife's naked, your best friend is there naked too. Their clothes are all on the ground. It smells like booty cheese and everything else. There's a condom on the floor. There's a video camera set up by the bed. And when you tell your other buddy this, he says, man, she's cheating on you. And you say, well, I don't know. doesn't make any freaking sense. They shouldn't be looking at you like you're crazy. You should be looking at them like they're crazy. Oh my God. I just had to get that out there. It's been bugging the heck out of me. 20 years. 20 years. And never questioned why can't I see when I'm flying? Why is there not an eyes-on capability of this asset that I have in orbit for over 20 years? Truth. You decide.